Hello everybody, it's Sierra, the Artsy Badger, and today we're doing another random animal in a random environment challenge. So the animal I got is a wolverine, which I'm pretty excited about. They're kind of like a badger. And then the environment, drum roll please, hot air balloon! I believe one of you guys left this one as a comment on the last video, so I'm pretty excited that already one of yours has showed up because there are a lot of different things in there. So as I like to do, I drew each thing separately. I went in with just a standard ballpoint pen because I wanted to keep my lines loose and not worry too much about, how precise everything is. And I just wanted to kind of get a feel for what these things look like and how I could combine them. This final little doodle is kind of the inspiration to the direction I went with this piece. So let's get started. So I don't know if you really noticed because it was really subtle, but that last little doodle was kind of putting like fish in a fish bowl that was being carried by a hot air balloon. And so I didn't go with that, but as I was researching wolverines, I realized that they can pretty much eat anything and they are carnivorous, so they do actually hunt, I think. I should probably double check. Yeah. So they are carnivorous and they can eat pretty much anything. And on the list of things that they like to consume was every animal you could think of that lives in their area. They like to eat everything from like scavenged bird eggs from their nests to smaller prey such as rabbits, but they even go as far to eat caribou and moosin, pretty much anything they can get those sharp little claws on. So I decided to draw a wolverine in his own little hot air balloon, kind of in pursuit of all of his meal items, and he's kind of drooling. I don't know, it's kind of an oddly morbid drawing, I guess, but I also think it's cute and kind of silly. But it's what I came up with, and I just ran with it. I do really like the way all the little animals in the basket together turned out. I think they're super cute. The wolverine, on the other hand, I had some trouble with. Although I did have a great reference photo, the pose was just kind of awkward. And then the worst part of it was the coloring, which you will see in a minute. So I will save that topic of conversation for when I actually start coloring. But I like the way that the baskets turned out and the hot air balloon turned out. The sketch and the line work, I was feeling pretty positive. When it came to the coloring, a lot of things kind of went downhill in my opinion. I was trying to color in the baskets and I was trying to get some like variation and texture, and it just wasn't reading the same way that I wanted it to. So I ended up adding all these little squiggly lines, and in the end, it's not like a sore thumb. I don't look at it and be like, oh God, that looks awful, but it just doesn't look as good as I would like it to. And then the next mistake I made is the rim on these baskets are black, which I did that because that's what my reference photo showed. But I should have been thinking more about the colors of the wolverine because the wolverine is super dark. And so you end up losing his eyes and you end up losing a lot of his body positioning because of the lack of contrast. And I know that I've talked a lot about how that is something that I kind of struggle with, contrast, whether it be in a 3-marker challenge or in a normal, I have all of my colors at my disposal challenge. I tend to struggle with contrast a little bit. But I do kind of save it later with my white gel pen, so I think it turned out okay in the end. The balloon was another thing that kind of bothered me. Again, looking at it now, it doesn't bother me, it looks fine. But it was just something that in the moment I was getting kind of frustrated with because I was using all these reference photos, but my colors just weren't matching up quite right. It's interesting, I have a lot of in-between tones and sort of more like pastel-y tones, but I don't have any of those good block, bright colors like you would see on the balloons. But again, I think it looks fine ultimately. It was just one of those coloring days where everything felt like it was going wrong at the time. Now I'm just coloring in all those little companion friends that are flying for their lives in this hot air balloon. They also have kind of a lack of contrast, but that's just, I'm just gonna be repeating myself if I keep talking about my struggles with contrast, but you know, they're all the same color creature. They're all this like dusty brown color. What do you expect? Like, and then I decided to color in the background a cute blue sky, and I tried to add in these clouds, and I tried to make it not streaky. I didn't do that well. It's hard to not make markers streaky when you're covering such a large area. And here I come in with that white gel pen to kind of pop him off of that black background, and I think it helped a lot, but it also looks kind of awkward, so I don't know. I was really excited to be able to use one of your guys' suggestions. I hope you guys like the results. It's pretty silly, but I think it was fun. That being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next week.